So I'm making this video by special request demand from my oldest brother, whom I love very dearly, and I stayed up this evening to make this video for. Yes, it is movie review time. I am reviewing Idiocracy tonight. And this movie was made in the year 2006. Has Luke Wilson in it, and my girl from Saturday Night Live, and she also played in some of the chick comedies. The one that was like I can't think of none of her movies. God dog it. But anyway, her name is Maya Randolph. It has Dax Shepard, but Terry Crews is president in this movie, and if you already know it's a comedy with Terry Crews being president. Anyway, Idiocracy. I got some notes because I was like, I watched this movie before. It was made in 2006, and skimmed through it before. It's like in my brother's top five. So I was like, I got to know what my brother's top five is, and it has a lot of cultural references to it. When if you've never seen this movie, I absolutely recommend it. It has a lot of pop culture references. Anyway, the movie is about a male and a female that went through an army experiment, and they were supposed to be gone for a year, right? So the army guy, he's in the army, so he didn't have a choice. It was like, this is how you know things is crazy. Their criteria for picking them was they had no family ties and no connections, nobody to tell, and their intelligence was average, like not above average, not below, just regular average intelligence. And that's how a lot of experiments are conducted, in the shadows of this world. People not speaking up. Off the bat, like the bad could be okay. So after the experiment gets going, he couldn't even communicate with people. Explain to me, and I probably speak this language because I'm so Southern, but the language, what they called it, a hybrid language of hillbilly, valley girl, inner city slang, and various words. Don't it sound like that rap group with the Offset man? What's the name of the rap group? Migos. Yeah. It sounds like a Migos song. Like they hillbilly, valley girl, inner city slang, and various grunts. That sound like this new rap music that we got going on now. And a couple of songs on the radio sound like a mixture hybrid of that, But anyway, so check on that's happening right now for Idiocracy. Pictures. Oh yeah, the pictures on the cash register. Okay, back in the day when I had my first job, let me tell y'all where I worked that job, KFC. We had to use words. They were small. It was a small print, but you still had like the chicken, and all this kind of stuff. You had to read and figure out the drumstick, and if they wanted to replace the drumstick and the wings and stuff, you had to actually read words. This was back in the 90s when that was going on. Places like McDonald's really do have pictures on the cash register. And you think about when you go into Walmart or somewhere like that, you no longer have to look up the UPC code. They have pictures instead of you having to actually read that number now. You could just look at the picture. And most people can't pronounce like zucchini. Don't know what a yellow pepper is when they see it. The dragon fruit, Lord, don't take a star fruit up to the cash register. A lot of cashiers will freak out. So that happened. 2505. So At this point, people are using tattoos for identification, and they're looking at you strange, like, "Why you don't have a tattoo? Why you don't have a tattoo?" And I'm looking around, and I'm starting to notice more people with tattoos in my community. Um, Tattoos are a big thing now, and I think that we can become desensitized to the fact that they can be markers, chips, and things planted in us. But at 2505, it's like if you don't have it, then you can't even um buy your Carl's Jr. French fries. And it's also a telltale sign of how checks and balances are really required in our society. Yes. If the corporations take over, you got Carl's Jr. Now, Carl's Jr. was one of the corporations that took over. This vending machine was able to spray a woman with some kind of spray that made her calm down, hallucinate, and she was up there trying to feed her kids. She kept saying, "I need," the vending machine broke. It wasn't handing out the French fries. Everybody knew it wasn't handing out the French fries. The Carl's Jr. had the ability to call protective services on this woman and remove her children and tell her, "Hey, you need to calm down. We about to remove your children. You just said you couldn't feed them. Remove them and take them where?" That's what I wanted to know. Like, my first instinct was like, what we talking about here? You just taking women, take the kids from the vending machine on the vending machine order? That didn't sound right. But I did like something about the future, and especially in this climate. The fact that the police didn't use a lot of guns in this version of their future. Like, they had guns, and the guns were automatic weapons. Like, they were high powered weapons when they did pull them out. But their first, in this version of this, and I guess I don't know whether it was because it was a white man that they were chasing. I don't know. I can't say that, but I still like the fact that they use mace, and they were quick to mace you. They were quick. They sprayed that baby with mace a lot, so that happened. But I like that version of the police. I would much rather have some mace in my eyes and live to see another day than the automatic, we'll just shoot you dead because you're stupid anyway. That part was good. The court system. It's not too far-fetched from what we got now. The court system was an actual game show inside of the thing. It's like that. I mean, if you still believe in justice in America, then you delusional. But I digress. Best invention. I'm looking forward to it happening. I don't know if I want it in my living room because the smell would just be enough. Or maybe they had it so they had that part fixing this invention. But the sofa, they had a sofa with a toilet in it, surround sound, and a big TV all hooked up together, and then he had like a feeding tube coming to him, and all they had to do was just bring the feeding tube over to himself while he had his surround sound and the toilet right there into the sofa. That's genius, man. That's genius. I don't know if I would want to do that, but I still think it's genius. I got asked this question, a very important question. What do plants crave? Brondo is what plants crave because it got electrolytes. What are electrolytes? Well, it's what plants crave. So, if you see somebody on the street, you say, "What do plants crave?" Brondo, because it has electrolytes. What are electrolytes? What plants crave? It's a whole cycle. You teach somebody new tricks. That's what you need to do. Anyway, this is for my brother. Letting him know that I think the movie is highly recommended. If you watch this movie, my favorite take on future self is Wall-E. His is Idiocracy. I think they're both heading in the same direction, right? A laziness a dumbing down, a phone driven. We always gotta we gotta wake up in the morning, lay down at night with these doggone phones. Every job you have on is some type of electronic that's kind of taking over the human element, the human interface that people really need. I liked in this movie they had the guy standing in front of the Costco. Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you. And he was automated in his response, but it was still a human standing there saying that. I think we have to be careful. These type of that movie makes me conscious of the reliance that we have on technology and how we're not too far from this 2006 Idiocracy movie. Every element is already in our society that they had. It was like a check mark I was going through. The automated floor cleaners, the pictures on the cash register, huge discount stores with craziness going on in it, like everything you can imagine already in there. We really just need to understand that as a society, reading is important. Taking breaks from social media is important. And connecting on a human level is important. Check on you somebody. You know, call your person up, but actually go visit. You know, hey, big brother, you should come see your sister. Bye.